What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. We got some exciting news. We're starting the ISF Rotrex Supercharger install. This will be episode 1 for everyone, and I'm so excited because this is my boy's car and he's been dying to boost it. All right, so first things first, we're gonna get the car moved out of the garage and get it on jack stands, and I have to start looking around at some things and get this planned out. I want this to be one of the fastest installs done. I think we can knock it out a lot quicker than I did mine, especially because a lot of these hoses are already pre-cut and all we got to do is just clean everything up. We want this to be as perfect as possible. We want it to go smooth, and anything that we can improve along the way, we will do it because this car deserves it. All right, so we got the car on jack stands finally, and one of the things that I noticed is we're missing a check valve right here, so we might have to either order that from Rafi or see if we can get one locally. That way boost doesn't leak out. But I think the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to remove the bumper, take off the intake, engine cover, get everything out of the way, remove the engine front brace, and after that I think I'm gonna do the spark plugs, just get them out of the way. We have to remove the battery. See what else. Yeah, a lot of disassembling today, and then we'll get everything to a good stopping point, and then what I'll do is I will start actually installing the supercharger. All right, it's time. Start taking shit apart. This car does have a lot of plastics, a little more than the RCF, I would say. Oh, come on. These little push pins are a pain in the ass. You're supposed to be able to push them in and then they pop up, but it doesn't always work. So I think we're gonna opt for actually pushing them out. So let's get a pick to do that with. Here we go. They're pushing in now, so I'm using the back of this just because my little fingernail is weak. See, now they pop right up. Not a single clip missing. So we gotta make sure we keep it that way. I always pop these back up once I take them out. You don't know if they're brittle, so you don't want to leave them stretched out, and then later on when you try to use them, they don't work. There we go. Just pop it back out. Just a couple more. Yes, sir. Okay, all right, we got them all. Let's trim this out. Got a little plastic trim back going. This guy has to come out as well. Oh, what do you have here? Okay, it looks... Alright, so this is just a kind of like a little plastic washer. It does pop up, but it actually twists off, so if you put a little bit of pressure while unscrewing it, it came right off. I'm sure you guys already dealt with this or don't even have that plastic if you're working on an older ISF. Alright, what do we got here? Same thing on that side. So we are going to pull up on it, twist, there we go, it's off. And get this clips off. There's 2 of them here. There we go. Another clip. And last one. Alright, we are caught up somewhere. Where the fuck is it caught up? Nope, we're not. We're good. Sweet. More plastic trim. More clippies. Alright. Start working on this under tray. I like keeping all this stuff. I'll leave the bolts close to it so I know it's the same stuff I'm dealing with. Let's see. Most of this is a 10mm socket. Just gonna slide that back there. There was a couple mismatched bolts and some extra bolts that were kind of hiding out on that cover, so yeah, I don't know what's up with those. Anyway, the center part had so it looks like they used some of these to get some of these areas kind of buttoned up. Which I don't like the way it was done. This should have a washer, so we'll correct that once we get everything off. When we reassemble it, we'll make sure it has washers on it, because this won't last very long that way. Let's take a look back here. OEM harmonic balancer. We got to move this ground strap here. Here's the hoses that typically we would extend, so it's right in the way of the intercooler where it's at, so we're probably gonna have to get some new hoses. That sucks because it's gonna leak. Alright, so let's get this bumper off and then we'll drain the that bottom radiator hose. The ISF is slightly different when it comes to taking off the bumper. It seems like this plastic's not as pliable as the newer years, so you have to be careful. And if you guys remember on my last video, to be very careful here with these black little clips, so I just kind of help it along. There we go, we're on clip now. Once you have that on clip, there is a little black part that clips over here, and you don't have to pry on it, you just have to push it just enough that it unclips. Push it and pull on the bumper just a little bit, but not too much, not until we get everything else situated up top. So let's get this other side done. Alright, got this out, and then it's really hard to show you guys, but it's right there. You just pull on it a little bit and it comes off. Just have to put pressure on it. There we go. Alright, so once it's out, you keep prying on it, not until you get the top ready to go. There we go. We got these main clips go here, and then we got this 10 millimeter. Let's see. All right, now we can start unclipping the headlight portion, and then the whole bumper should come out. I'm gonna put these are the bumper ones, in their own little bag. All right, there we go. Make sure that everything comes off smooth. Okay. All right, now we're gonna disconnect the fog lights real quick. It looks like we have one clip here and one here, so fog light. And what's the other one, a turn signal? So windy out today, man. There we go. Alright. Okay, there we go. Got her off. We're off to a good start. There we go. Some of the stuff we're gonna reuse. Most of this we won't. So, but this little clip here, I remember this guy. Pops in from here, so that's good. Hose out of here. If Duke ever wants to do a valved exhaust, he can hook this up. So this is a little check valve. That way it only flows one way, so it only sucks air in, but it doesn't let air come out. It's a vacuum check valve. Come on, there we go. All right, now all of this can come off, but we got to get the main bolts out. There's that. Got a longer extension for that bottom one. First, get the mass airflow sensor out. So that we can break this loose. There we go. All right. Get this guy out. Okay. Probably just keep this all in one piece for him, and then we'll take off the mass airflow sensor later on when we need it. Come on. There we go. I knew it was loose. You know, we're adding a lot of weight because the supercharger is heavy, but all this shit is heavy too. So some of the stuff we're just trading for a different kind of weight. It's got that K&N filter on there. This little guy, just because it'll bring air in there. So if there's room for it, we'll use it. If there isn't, it's just gonna go in the pile. Gotta remove this little brake vent here. Come on. I think it'll work better if I just get this in here. Yep, there we go. And then there's another bolt underneath it. There we go. That's it. And then this part right here. Oh, there's one more bolt down here on the bottom. Alright, it's off. So nice little brake vent. I'm not sure what I'll do with these yet. So here's the thing is we have to cut this section right here. So this is where the intake pipe is going to go down. And so I have to make room. There's a couple of things in the way here, so I need to make room so that we can make a nice clean cut. And then we got to remove these transmission lines. So all these hard lines are not going to get used. There we go. And I'm trying to figure out how we can do this so that we don't leak as much oil. I have new lines coming, so we're going to extend them from the hard lines over to where we're going to relocate this cooler to the right side, or maybe even leave it where it's at actually, and the intercooler will just go in front of it. And then gotta relocate these guys so they're out of the way. We're gonna reuse these mounting bolts for the intercooler. Yeah, I think we're in good shape so far. Nothing too crazy. Once we get into the trimming stuff, that's when things get a little tricky. I don't know if I have to trim this section here to fit the intercooler piping through the bottom. We'll figure it out. But right now, what I do need to do is I have to get these wires out of the way here so I don't cut them when I start trimming. So I need to unclip them. Let's get this guy out of the way. And I think these are 14s, if I remember correctly. And then there is a sensor back here that we need to take off. How does it? Jesus Christ. Come on. Oh, right here. Just come off, bro. Why are you being difficult? Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna leave this dangling for now. And we need to figure something out for this, because this is completely in the way of the intercooler. We're not going to be able to put it in front of it. So we need to either fabricate something or I'll RSS to cut this. I don't want to cut this. progress. Ooh, this looks a little wonky. Oh, I know why. It's supposed to be clipped right there. Okay. There we go. Just clip like that. All right. All right, 2 inches, right? God damn it. I got antifreeze everywhere. Okay, we're back. Got a new battery. So this little plug here was finger tight. I don't think that's supposed to be finger tight. So we are going to just snug it just a little bit. So that's good to go. We have this locked in place so that it's loose. These clamps are a pain in the ass, but that's the nice thing about them, is you can lock it right there so it stays open. We got our 2 inches. We're gonna get it as close as possible and then unlock it. Let's see if we can get this in frame. Get it up nice and tight, and then we're just gonna release this. Or not. Oh my God. There we go. All right. And now we're gonna adjust it a little bit. All right, make sure that it's as far as possible. And so now you can see this nice little open gap here. All right, so I have to cut this around here, basically a triangle, to make room. And I'm trying to figure out if the best way to approach this is with a Dremel or if I should just get a jigsaw in there. I'm thinking I'm gonna use a Dremel on this edge and then jigsaw this edge. So let's try it and then we'll see what happens. It's about to rain and this Dremel is taking way too long, so I'm gonna use a Sawzall and then I'll shape out the rest after I get the main piece cut out. So, ooh, I see the sensor down here. It needs to hide. There we go. Should be good. Everything's out of the way. I did unclip some of these so that they're out of the way. And then, all right, we can get to cutting. Working out pretty good. And then I'm gonna sleep this in here. Okay. Almost got it. Oh, I see what happened. My blade bent. Guys, using a salsa is probably one of the sloppiest things you can do if you don't know how to use it. I've been using it for years, so I can say that I kind of know how to predict what can go wrong. But just a warning for you guys. There we go. Look at that. Boom. Beautiful. I still want to shape this a little bit, so I got to figure out how to angle it so I can get that. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend it down so that it's smooth. So I'm going to grab some channel locks and shape this downwards, and then that way it's not going to scrape off the conduits. And then this, we're going to cut this a little bit here. Almost there, a little more. Got it. Now we have our space that we need. It's a lot faster than using a Dremel. Every time I try to use a Dremel, I honestly end up either doing this or a jigsaw or something else other than the Dremel. It's just such a slow process. But the Dremel is great for plastic, so I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it is pouring outside. So we got rained out and kind of out of options here. I did want to bend, you guys can't even see. I do want to bend this piece that I was talking about right here. Okay, so this car is a little different than mine. He actually has a spare, and there's no room in here for the pump. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the pump here, and I'm gonna mount the reservoir right above it like that. And then we'll run the wires out. This has already been pre-cut. Yeah, so before I do that, I am gonna modify this bracket. And one of the things that we need to do is this tank needs to face this way so that the sensor's pointing back. That way when you throttle out, the water goes this way and it doesn't read empty. So to do that, I'm going to move this bracket over, and then I also want to paint this black because I did that with mine and it looks a lot better. So that's what we'll work on right now while it's pouring outside, because we're kind of at a standstill in this front end. We'll get rained on if we work on the front, so there's a lot to do still. Mark this here where I can cut it. they fit, so we're good. This battery's dying. Let's get this charged up. Oh my god. There we go. Alright. Do we need to trim this a little bit? Check it out, guys. Figured it out. So I'm gonna have the tank right here. Filter is gonna go here. I did replace the filter. I had a spare one from my setup, and then a new fitting on this side. And then this is the output. The tank is gonna go here. So input, little line there. And then I need to sneak out the output from here, somewhere up here, or actually right here. I'm gonna drill a hole here. Actually, I don't need to drill a hole because I can do it this way and then run it that way. So that that's what we're looking for right there. Okay. So the filter is in. Oh, that's perfect. I see that. Filter sitting flush, facing down. So now, oh, stupid. This doesn't go here. This goes on the input. Oh man. All right. How do we do this? Like this. This is the output. I'm trying to line it up. There we go. Doing that while holding on to bolts. Trying to do too much at once. Okay. Alright, that is all the way in. And there's enough relief there that we can run this out. If we just lift this here, we can tuck it like that. And so that's ready to run all the way to the front. I gotta do something with this. Get it out of the fucking way. Okay. And our sensors have plenty of slack here. And then, all right, so we're ready for this. We have to put this in first because once we bolt on the tank, this is kind of stuck on there. There we go. All right. So now we gotta get this guy in there. Okay. So it looks like there's enough relief on there. I'll face that filter down and get these bolts. Okay, I put the clips on the actual tank and I should be able to do this. Maybe. Okay, that's a lot better. Let's try to work this side. Okay. Just gotta be smarter about these things. Just because they were done a certain way before doesn't mean it was the best way. Okay, that's not going anywhere. And come on, little guy. We got the clip right here. Let's go this way. This way. All right. Look at that. Now we just got to route these guys and the wire, but this was one of the most time-consuming parts out of when I did it on mine, cutting out all the foam and just making it look pretty. So, all right, what I am going to do now is this might be a good stopping point for this specific thing. But let's see. Oh, it's still raining. There might be a couple more things I can do over here before I call it a day, but I feel like we can be a little bit more productive before we call it quits.